What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish. Sneakers mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. And today's sneaker is an early look that actually takes me back. It takes me back to a different time of my life where I was a different kind of a guy. And I kind of want to talk about that today. Of course, after we take a look at the shoe, we take a little deeper look at what it is. We take a look at a little bit more of the history behind the shoe, because to me, it's a bit underrated, even though it's pretty iconic. And then also want to talk about why sneakers mean different things to different people, and we can't always judge each other for feeling the ways that we feel about these kicks. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2023 Air Jordan 13 playoffs. Man, there's just certain sneakers that are just packed with so many memories. They just really take you back to that moment in time, the last time that you had them. But before we get too deep into that, I want to take a little deeper look at the shoe. Not a whole lot going on as opposed to the 2011 pair or even the 1997 pair, but I will say these seem a bit more like the OG models. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's dive in. All right, starting with the upper of the shoe here. Now, the first thing you're going to notice, Air Jordan 13, classic silhouette. Nothing different about the silhouette in and of itself. Very true to form from the 2011 Air Jordan 13 playoff. Nothing totally different. You got the black upper there, the tumbled leather on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe there. Shout out to Nightwing that reminded us that while this whole sneaker was made to look like a cat paw, like the black cat, this actually in the panels here was made to look like cat whiskers. The dimples here are made to look like the little dimples where the whiskers are. So shout out to Nightwing for that. Appreciate you for that info. Now, right underneath that tumbled leather, we have that same kind of nubuck material right above the midsole of the shoe on both the lateral and medial side. Now, that material, of course, also blends down into the midsole of the shoe as well. Going up a little bit though, you have the classic hologram there, the classic Jumpman 23 hologram there. Can never go wrong with that. You always love to see that when it comes to the Air Jordan 13, and these don't disappoint. Taking the top down, look at the shoe here. Classic Air Jordan 13 with the playoffs here. Of course, you have that yellow circle with the red stitch Jumpman in the tongue moving down from there. Black regular laces with that little hit of the yellow on the Jordan on the tag there. Very nice. The outsole is definitely something that I want to talk about real quick on the playoffs. Now, these you'll notice are different. Probably the most difference, at least aesthetically, that you're going to notice between these and the older pairs like the 97s, the OGs. You guys may notice here this gray line that's going down the middle here, this little gray area here. We did not get that on the 2011 pair. We got a lot more red on the outsole. Some people didn't like it. I personally didn't care either way, but some people really had a problem with that. But for those of you guys that did have a problem with that, don't worry about it. You're getting the gray back on the 2023 pair. I mean, that's pretty much it. Insole on the shoe, black insole with the red Jumpman. Nothing really different about that. But overall, that's pretty much it when it comes to the 2023 Air Jordan 13 playoffs. Again, it's a simple sneaker that Michael Jordan did some absolutely incredible stuff in. And again, it's one of these sneakers that I think is a bit underrated, even though it's pretty iconic. Here's what I mean. The 1997-98 season was a very interesting one. There were a lot of talks about Michael Jordan getting ready to leave the game, retire, or leave the Chicago, and everybody was kind of wondering what was his next thing. 6 championship was on the line, so there was a lot riding on what Michael Jordan was doing. Could he come back and do another three-peat like he did previously before he retired the first time? He had done 2 in a row. He was going for his 3rd one in a row. The pressure was on. So when it came time for the playoffs, Michael Jordan really was in his bag, and he blew through the playoffs, the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, in these, the Air Jordan 13 playoffs. And so again, I think for the OGs that were watching Michael Jordan play back then, these were really an iconic sneaker because of what he was doing on the court. But for people like me, I was still a kid in 1997, so I was watching Michael Jordan play and I thought he was amazing, but that's not why these sneakers are special to me. But for the OGs, they really like these. Now, granted, these were not as hot as his previous playoff sneaker, maybe something like the 1996 Air Jordan 11 playoff or the Bred 11s as we all know them to be. Now, naturally, these were a much more iconic playoff sneaker than these were, but these still had their moment to shine. However, when it came time for the last round of the playoffs against the Utah Jazz, this incredible Utah Jazz team here, Karl Malone, John Stockton, he ended up swapping these out for the, what I think, more iconic sneaker or the upcoming shoe that was coming up later on in the fall, the Air Jordan 14 in the iconic Last Shot colorway. Now, what's crazy is I realized I don't own a pair of Last Shot 14. So if any of you guys have a size 9 in a Last Shot 14, holla at me and let's figure something out, because I'd love to have a pair of those in my collection. But The 13s really did have a moment. They really did shine, but unfortunately, they just got totally eclipsed by the last shot in the Jordan 14, the shoe that he wore when he took the shot. So yeah, it is what it is. But make no mistake about it, this sneaker was still very, very dope. Now, listen, everybody has their preference when it comes to Jordan sneakers. Some people don't even like the Air Jordan 13s, and I understand that. Now, me, I love the 13s. As a matter of fact, one of my grails that I got a little while ago was the Flint 13s. Still love this sneaker. These sneakers have had some miles put on them, and they got a lot more miles to go that are gonna be put on them. So I've always been a fan of the 13s. I always thought that they looked dope. And for me personally, like I said, you know, the 13 means a little bit more to me than just what Michael Jordan was doing in them. It's time to get a little bit personal today. I was waiting until I got 100,000 subscribers on the channel to do a draw my life or tell you guys a little bit more about my life as it were, but I'll be honest with you guys, that's probably a little ways away the way the sneaker YouTube is going. I got a video coming up on the state of sneaker YouTube, and I got a lot to say, so you might want to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But where I was in 2011 was in a very interesting time in my life. I was going to college at the time, and I've been in college for a long time. As a matter of fact, I was kicked out of college twice, not once, but twice, because my grades were so bad. I had a lot of things going on. And so around the time that these came out, I was really starting to get into sneakers and really start collecting sneakers a lot more heavily at that point. And the Jordan 13s was something about them. The playoffs, I remembered these from seeing Michael Jordan playing them. And there was something really special about them. I love the colorway. I love the black, the white, the red. And I just thought that it was so fly with everything. So when I saw these coming back for 2023, it took me back to a time of my life, because these sneakers actually came out when I was actually getting ready to get out of college. And like I mentioned, I was kicked out of school twice. So it was a struggle for me to get out of school. It took me a long time to get out of there. So by the time I was kind of starting to see the light, I was kind of relaxing a little bit more. I was enjoying college a little bit more. I was enjoying kind of the end of college a little bit more. And again, I was wearing a lot more of these sneakers. I have some old photos somewhere of me wearing Cherry 13s and old photos of me wearing the Playoff 13s. I was a 13 dude. It was a good time of my life. I was doing my poetry thing, and I was just doing a lot of things for me that I really enjoyed doing. I had a lot more friends around me that were genuine friends, not kind of the fake stuff that you see these days. But it was a different time for me. And so I think that the nostalgia that was attached to these sneakers and who and where I was at that point in time is really what made these a must cop for me. And I guess I'll kind of end the video on this note. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time today. It's a Playoff 13. We all know what it is. But I guess if I were to have a final thought, it would be sneakers mean something different to everybody. So while I love that we dialogue about these shoes and we talk about them, I want us all to respect what these sneakers individually mean to us. I see people saying things like, well, that sneaker can't be a grail for this reason, or this sneaker can't be special to you for that reason. Well, it might not be as special to you, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be super special to another person. Every one of these sneakers has a story, and especially for people that were around during the times that these sneakers were first dropping, or even if you're a newer sneakerhead and newer sneakers are grails to you for whatever reason. Maybe you went through a lot to get that Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 low or whatever, and people are trying to bash you because you're saying that a new sneaker is a grail. Don't let them do that. Your grails are your grails. My grails are my grails. Do your thing. Enjoy your shoes. Enjoy your collection. At the end of the day, these have great history behind them, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the history of these shoes while giving you some looks of some early and recent product that's coming out. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you guys like about the shoes and what you guys think about the shoes. And with that said, now it's a great time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the 2023 Air Jordan 13 playoffs. Are these ones that are going to be on you guys must cop list? I can't tell you really if these are going to sell out or not. I think these will sell pretty well, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see some sizes kind of straggling around in some of the less popular sizes. I just think that because we're in a different time, even back in 2011, sneakers were not dropping at the rate that they're dropping right now. There's so many shoes that are coming out. We barely even have time to keep up with the videos because everybody's trying to get their early videos out first so they can move on to the next early video. So I don't know. These might fly a little bit under the radar. They might sell out. They'll probably sell out on sneakers, but you'll probably be able to find them in some other places or catch some restocks if you're really diligent about it. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about them. Are they a cop? Or are they a drop? Are you gonna pass on them? Let me know down below. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Jordan 13 playoffs for 2023. And until next time, I'm out.